Hello and welcome to the STCfit Learning Podcast. I'll be your host today. My name is Jason Galea and I'll be joined by Ben Scott. Thanks for joining us on our way to creating 1 million positive outcomes in personal training by 2030. The podcast is brought to you by STCfit Learning's Coaches Collective, a premium business mentoring service for PTs who want to attract the clients they want, earn a higher income, and have a long, sustainable fitness career. If you enjoy the episode, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platform. A 5-star review goes a long way to helping us reach more people just like you. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
We need to bring some bodybuilding guests.
Yeah, the only bodybuilding guests that we've already had on, and we've talked about other shit.
All right. Welcome, Jason.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good, man.
I'm very good.
I'm fucking sore, actually. My legs is fucking so sore. Like,
because you had a week off?
Yeah,
new
week
program?
off, new program.
Yeah, that's rough. Me too, but the program's very, very similar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, my program's different. I just needed to shake it up a bit.
Yeah, so I noticed the Smith machine hack squat, heels elevated. May I ask why you didn't wear lifters?
Because I like the freedom in my ankles.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because, like, the squat shoe's too narrow for my feet. So if I don't have to wear them, I won't. Yeah. Because it bunches my toes up.
I see.
Nike,
you got Nike ones, yeah?
Yeah, the
Ramelos.
Yeah. And then, I like the freedom in the ankle. Like that little bit of
interesting
inversion, like that happens at the ankle joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to have that freedom rather than being concrete set in the squat.
From a mobility standpoint, it feels more comfortable.
From a trainable perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess, like, obviously through strength lens, it's like that's a dissipation of energy if there's movement there. So being nailed into the floor. Yeah. That's why I looked at it and I was like, why would you use plates and not the shoes?
Yeah, I'd rather, like, not have my feet like they're center blocks. And then it's just like, no matter what I do, it's just like pushing a square peg in a round hole kind of. Rather just have a little bit of freedom in the ankles and the feet.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about using a ramp, but it's just it
gives you both, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more stability.
It gives you a little bit more, but it's just
you have to take your own ramp to the gym.
Yeah, and it's fucking heavy. And, like, I'm that dude already. Yeah. It's like my gym bag's not big enough. Like, there's so much fucking shit in there.
We need to do a YouTube gym bag, Jason's gym bag video.
Yeah.
Mine's not too bad, actually.
I've got
not these days. When I was powerlifting, fucking heaps of shit.
Yeah. Well, I still keep my shoes in there, but I don't really use them that much anymore.
Me either.
No, I kind of find that, like, I can see how you'd use them from a powerlifting perspective, like, to, make sure, because of the weight.
Yeah, I've moved further and further away from recommending them.
Yeah, okay.
It's like address the issue more often than not.
Do you reckon there's circumstances? Yeah, but do you reckon there's circumstances where you can't?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
like I would have you wear them all the time because your ankle's fucked.
Yeah, so cool.
That's like your ankle's not like, hey bro, do some calf raises. And then you'll be fine.
Or do the put the,
the
fucking the dumbbell on the knee. Drive it. It's like, no, man.
Yeah,
it's like there's
fucked.
concrete.
Yeah,
in that shit.
That's like go get surgery.
Yeah,
and you can squat.
I probably need to get it cleaned out.
Yeah, I think
which I'm don't really care about.
Yeah, I used them for my first 2 comps, because I deadlifted with my lower back a lot, and I low bar squat with my lower back as well. Yeah. So I kept getting like just lower back blow ups.
Yeah.
So going to the shoes allowed me to squat more upright, forced me to squat more upright. So it just like was a bit of a band-aid of an overall technical problem. But yeah, I've got some clients that have like just ankles that are like, nah, like that's never going to happen. But I think a lot of people, as soon as they don't hit depth, they're just like, oh, I'll put shoes on. It's like, well, do a goblet squat. And it's like, the knee's fucking hanging out 3 inches over the big toe. And they're like, it's my ankle mobility. It's like, nah, it's like load control and positioning and center of mass and blah, blah, blah.
Elevating your heels is like the go-to.
Yeah, it's the best fix.
If something doesn't work, it's like, we'll just elevate your heels.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, then most people are just like,
go see someone.
No, like I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Or let's just add more weight now.
Even though it's shallow, it doesn't matter.
It's like, oh, you didn't actually do the movement, but let's add more weight.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm too scared to tell you, and I don't know how to
Yeah,
fix it.
the PT fucking, we'll just put another 10 on it. High five. Good job.
Yeah. Actually, like, you know how you get salty and like you type shit?
Send it.
Yeah, I
Just send it.
I made a it's what will be a post today, and it was just like how there's this huge shift to like being a jack of all trades and the master of none. So it's like I can't, like, there's so many trainers out there fucking horrible at programming, can't periodize anything. They can't assess movement, they can't fix anything, and they can't assess people's technique.
Yeah.
So you can't fix someone's technique. And then you see them in the gym and you're like, fuck, you don't train that good yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, fast exercises, like, you know, they just have like really bad proprioception and control. And it's like, that's what we should be like really good
job.
at.
Yeah.
It's a fucking main scope of practice, yeah. And dare I say it, being a good motivator. Right? It's fucking scope of practice for a personal trainer, okay? Don't fucking come at me with your discipline shit, all right? Fucking, we got to find a way to get these people into the gym.
We inspire, Jason, we don't motivate.
Sometimes, I know I'm swearing, saying the M word, but you know, that's the main scope. And then it's like, let's learn fucking biochemistry. Let's learn fucking psychology. Let's turn into someone that's trying to dive into someone's deepest fucking problems. And it's like, or their hormones or some shit. And it's like, fucking take me from here, not being able to fucking bend over, squat, whatever, to being able to, you know, squat, bench, deadlift, be hyper muscular, hyper lean, whatever. Yeah. And so you can't fucking do it.
And like low key, if you improve in the gym, lift more weight, improve your body composition, are motivated to sleep more and eat better, probably going to improve your hormonal profile, probably going to improve your psychological profile. And hey, you'll actually get some fucking results in the gym too.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
I hate to be the reductionist, but fuck, if you get those things right, most of the rest of it takes care of itself.
Yeah, and like, fuck, just get good at that shit first.
Yeah. And
then it's like, cool, go and dive into the fucking most in-depth shit.
Yeah.
I know people who can fucking... I say, you know, we use this reference point all the time, but it's like, I know people that can like tell every fucking part of the Krebs cycle, and then you watch them in the gym and you're like, fuck, man, you like don't train well.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't move well, and you don't actually like know the technique that great.
Yeah.
And it's like, wouldn't you want to get good at the stuff you can control first?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, yeah, sure, like this thing happens and fucking all these bits happen and it creates energy, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, people are going to be fucking curling over for me saying that. But it's like, realistically, it's like all you can control is like what you eat, how you train.
It doesn't, my thing, without this going too much of a tangent, but it is good because the topic of today is like what to do during your first year of PT. And this is the stuff you should be focused on. I don't think, or I hope, you learn the Krebs cycle, go to work on Monday. You don't fucking change anything.
No.
That's the thing for me. It's like you don't change your approach based on knowing that information because it's not applicable. Yep. Like I've just started rereading Lyle's women's book.
Yep.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like, oh yeah, follicular phase. This happens. This hormone does this. This does that. Yeah, cool, sweet. So what am I going to do differently? Oh, nothing.
Ask how someone feels.
Auto-regulate their training, track their cycle. How do you feel?
Ask how someone feels. Probably get 2 or 3 cycles under your belts, and then go, "Hey, usually in this phase we do this.
Yeah.
So let's peel this back and let's, you know."
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's why you think you're really fat this week, and then next week you'll be fine. Yeah. Like we just need to ride this wave.
You see someone's photos, and they're just smooth.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh,
yeah,
okay, we're here.
Yeah,
whatever. Fucking sweet.
Yeah, it's good. Like that stuff, I think, is good for awareness, and it helps you as a coach. But it doesn't. If it doesn't change how you apply,
but
what you do, don't become the person that's like, well, actually, maybe you shouldn't train hard during this.
But don't research that shit and be shit at your job.
Yeah, agreed.
Like don't go fucking learning in-depth biochemistry, fucking this, that, blah, 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 and then not actually know how to coach someone through a squat and just put your fucking heels up and go, oh fuck, I can't do anything else now.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm seeing now. It's like people are diving into shit that, like, yeah, sure, you can dive into it once you master the main scope of your practice, which is to be really good at training people and movement and exercise selection and programming and those kind of things.
And like, also, and like creating trust, solving problems, sales, business back end.
Oh yeah,
like all that shit
yeah.
as well. Like I think that's more important, and people don't like to talk about it, but that's more important than knowing. And again, we use it all the time, but knowing the Krebs cycle. Yeah. It's like it's walking out on the gym floor with a whiteboard and drawing the Krebs cycle isn't going to get you clients.
No.
So it's important to have that broad spectrum.
Yeah. So yeah, it just rubs me out.
I like when you get angry. It's fun. Hit post on that post, mate.
Yeah. I just didn't get time, and I don't know if it's the right time of the day for my audience.
Yeah,
maybe around lunchtime.
All those considerations.
There's personal trainers around at lunchtime.
I sent it yesterday with the hormone stuff.
Yeah,
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, well, like
I haven't been
what's his name?
Abrasive for a while.
Damon Hayhow. So all we can control is what we eat and what we train.
Yeah, the hormone one's funny though because it's just like I'm gonna balance your hormones. Like what ones? Like which ones? And then like in what ratios?
Yeah.
And it's like I'm gonna balance. We're gonna fix your hormones, and never get a blood test. So how do you know they're broken?
Have a fucking good night's sleep. That's probably the best that we could probably encourage.
How do you know they're broken? And B, like, where's your metric to say that you fixed them?
If anything, I better not say that. Wrong podcast.
All right, so for the ear people, I have my green pants on today because we have an announcement.
I actually looked before and I was like, this is an interesting outfit.
You don't like the
look, it's the pants.
The overall,
the pants just fucking throw me off no matter what you wear. All right,
that's so funny.
You'd have a fucking Givenchy t-shirt on or some shit, and I'd just be like, "Fuck."
My front door faces north, so like when I left the house, I opened the door straight into the sun, and like I was talking to my wife before I left, I opened the door, I was like, "Whoa, fuck, they're so bright." But it's announcement day, so cool. I thought I'd go with the big pants. Good. But we're doing it at the end. We can't tell anyone what it is. But the topic for the episode is how to win in your first year. And I think still now, even though there's less government funding for courses and people are a little bit more in, and if you're choosing to do a PT cert post-COVID, like props to you. Like a lot of people have been scared away with, I guess, the uncertainty that we had over that period of time. Yeah. But it's still that initial 12 months is still super critical. Yeah. And the cert doesn't really fill all the holes that you need to be successful in your first year.
No, definitely not. Like the thing that people don't understand with the certification, and we know because we taught it, facilitated it, run a campus, everything.
There's another announcement about that too.
Yeah. Well, so we know a little bit about Cert 3 or 4 here, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the minimum amount that someone needs to come in and train someone through health and fitness and not hurt them.
Yeah.
So when we obviously been in the industry for a long time, there's a lot of stuff you can know. We already spoke about the shit that you probably don't need to know at the start. But it's like, when you come in, it's like you're getting, that entry level knowledge to just take someone through an exercise program that's most likely going to be general population, and you're not going to be able to hurt them.
Yeah.
And it's like looking at the landscape of the fitness industry after that, it's like there's so much more to learn.
Yeah.
Knowing how the industry works itself. I've had heaps of people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm interested." I have a lot of people ask me about, do I train people or whatever, just piquing their interest in like a career. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is what it's like in fitness.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the time after that, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I say, this is what you get through the course, and then you have to do this afterwards.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge gap.
Yeah.
To making it,
yeah,
not to getting in, because I feel like you can get in any capacity. You know what I mean? Like you just need to be in.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool. Like I train one person, so I'm in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Let's say if you're doing that in like 12 months time or 3 years time,
Yeah. So obviously today we're going to speak more towards like being the IBO, so independent business owner. Generally speaking, it's like a health club PT.
Yeah.
And running your own shit, which is. Interestingly, there seems to be a shift at the moment towards like the BFT, the kind of little strength community kind of vibey gym that like you get an
small
hourly
group training gym.
Yeah, it's kind of stepped forwards a little bit from F45. It's not as no disrespect to F45, but it's not as haphazard. It's a little bit more planned. The programming seems to be a little bit better. But it's obviously still not personal training. It's just a small group kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just it's just training.
Yeah,
just going in and doing a workout. You're not doing a workout for you.
Yeah, which is where it's attracting more young coaches, I think, now.
Unskilled coaches in an environment where the workout's not personalized, where there's fatigue and there's resistance training. What could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Perfect environment. What a product to sell.
But I think either way, even if you've been doing that for a bit or you're sitting back looking at like where you want to go in your career, for myself, like if someone came to me and was like, Ben, should I go do small group training before I start as a PT? Unless you have really poor communication skills and you like that is a real problem for you, then maybe, like if you don't know how to fucking talk to people at all, maybe go do the group thing. I'll be upfront with that. Like it's probably a good idea.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Anyone else, you're going to want to run your business at some point.
Yeah.
You're not going to, like, I don't know any career group class instructors.
Yeah, I don't even know anyone who's like employed.
Yeah.
Like
we're
now.
old now.
Yeah, well,
because we're all 10 years younger than
yeah,
us.
well, see that. Yeah, no, but like, yeah, they either did it, and then they've moved on.
Yeah,
you know, what I mean, I don't know anyone who's like stayed, you know, just in that position.
Yeah, it's not a thing that you do for a career. It's like, oh, I'll start here, and then you see them like they come to us all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I was fucking doing 5 a.m. starts, and blah, blah, they're burnt out as shit. And they're like, oh, now I want to go kind of start in the gym. Unfortunately, the lessons are the same. So it doesn't matter whether you start straight up or you start in 6 months. The lessons that you're going to have to learn are the same. So it's like, why delay it for 6 months?
Yeah.
Just to get like maybe a little bit better at communication and like instructing exercise. You do that on the gym floor at the same time anyway.
Oh, 100%.
So I think that's really important for people to kind of step back and think about. Unless it's a real deficit that you have engaging with others, I think.
Which some people like, fuck man, like these days, especially like, I don't know if you're maybe 17 to 19 and you spent the last 2 years inside
lockdown.
Yeah. It's like that can fuck you up. Like I know it messed me up a little bit. Like I'm really starting to become my most flamboyant self in the last.
I'm still reminding myself like, hey, you actually have to leave the house on the weekend. Like,
just have a night on the piss. That fixes everything. Yeah. I can confirm.
Yeah,
that.
I went to Europe for a month and I came back and I was like, it's too busy out there. So when we start looking at like, all right, what are we going to do? How do we get into this industry and where do we start?
Yeah.
The first thing that people look at is like finding a gym. So what are the metrics that we need to consider finding a gym? Now, you said, I can't remember how you worded it around the really you're shopping, you're not applying. Like when people come to you and they're like, oh, I'm looking for a job. It's like,
it's like,
they're looking for you.
I've got an interview. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah. And
if they have an interview with you, you've got an interview with them or whatever. Yeah.
Are you a dick? No, then you're interviewing them.
Do you have eyes, a mouth, a beating heart? Yes. All right, you're in.
Yeah, and your certification almost finished.
Are you willing to sign? Yes, you're in.
So walking in understanding that basically they are going to try and sell you to a $15,000 a year contract in rent.
Yeah,
like
100%.
That's what the lens you've got to come in with. So I recommend probably training in at least 3 gyms in your area.
Yeah,
that have PTs and just getting a vibe. Like go to the local Snap, compare that to Good Life, compare that to Anytime or whatever. Like go into the mall and actually train at peak time. And what are the other trainers like? How many of them are there? Do people talk to each other? Are they friendly? What's the vibe like in the club?
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to determine your success or not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, made the mistake that I made, where I'm like, oh, fucking 4,000 members, 3 PTs, I'm going to eat this fucking shit up. And then you walk into a gym and it's like, oh, they all do cardio here.
Yeah.
And go home. And then go swim in the pool and go home. And they're all 40.
PT culture is so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So important. Like people sit there and kind of look at, like I reckon the best our gym was back in the day was when we had like 20. And like it was just every person that walked through the door just had a personal trainer. And it was always like when members spoke to each other, it was like, oh, who do you work with? Kind of thing. Like it was just that expectation that you trained with somebody and you got good results.
It was a giant PT studio.
Yeah, it was mad. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And then all the PTs started to hate each other.
Then people started selling fucking Herbalife. Oh, I said that. I mean, swearing heaps. Then I said the H word as well.
Send it. So yeah, that's the one thing is get in there, feel it, make sure you like it, speak to the other PTs that are there, because like obviously the PT manager is going to sell you the dream. So make sure you speak to everyone else that is around the club as well, even members if you can. Like, oh, what's it like here? Do you have a PT? Do you see many people with PTs? All of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So do your research in that sense. So yeah, we've established like go in and check it out. So then metrics wise, obviously total members is important. Like how many members do they have? Big health clubs is usually like kind of 2,000 to 4,000, depending on the club. But more important than that, I would say like new members that they're signing up per month. Because the new members are going to be the ones that are hot for like PT
training, yeah.
Because they're like, fucking decided I'm going to join the gym, I'm getting in shape, and this is what's going to happen. They either come in and they get a PT pack, which obviously gets allocated to the new trainers, or they try and do it themselves for a month and fail, and then you're on the phone like, hey, do you want to come in and catch up and find that motivation that you had again 4 weeks ago? So that's really important. And then comparing how many people are leaving versus staying as well. Because you don't want to be at a gym that's losing more than it's gaining. Yeah. Particularly at the moment.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would look at in a facility? Well, you would look at equipment because you're an equipment nerd.
Oh, not in your first 12 months. I mean, like, to a degree. It's like, you got to see if you can train people out of there. Like, if they didn't have, I don't know, for whatever reason, like, shit that you like to use, then you might consider it.
It's amazing how adaptable you can be though, hey?
Yeah.
Like when we had those teams of 25 and shit, and everyone was like, it was 6:30 p.m. and the whole gym was packed. It was just like, you figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. But I think like just the culture is the most important thing. The idea that like, the whole gym has that idea that you work with a personal trainer.
Yeah.
I think that's hands down the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like you still want to have trainers in the club, like, don't get scared about having, X amount of trainers and they've got X amount of sessions and stuff. Like that's really a good sign that, there's people, because realistically, like most personal trainers in a health club are only allocating themselves 30 to 40 clients, not even like, 20 to 30 clients. So it's like even at 2,000, that's 20 to 30 out of 2,000. It's just so many people. So just be mindful of that. Like if the culture's there and there are a team of PTs and they are doing it full time, it's like, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can ask, that's another thing that I would maybe ask too, is just like, what's your budget for PTs? Like PT members, they'll have a ratio usually. Most gyms to be like a trainer per 200 members, for example, might be. And then the PT manager's paid on how close they get to that. So if you're walking into a gym and it's like, oh, we've got 500 members per trainer right now, but our target's 200, expect that a lot of trainers are going to start in the next 3 to 6 to 12 months as well.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of new people that are quote unquote competition.
Yeah.
But after this podcast, competition won't scare you. You'll be fine.
No such thing.
So once you picked a gym, even before you picked a gym, to be totally honest, the fundamental shit is like get an ABN. Register your business. Most people have that down because you have to have fill out the contract usually.
Yeah.
So they actually get that done. The next thing is find an accountant straight away.
Register your ABN in your name too.
What do you mean?
Well, just use your name as your ABN.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, like, if you change your business name, you got to change your ABN.
Yeah, we're just paying it.
Yeah, it's just like register it in your name, and then you can have a business name.
Yeah.
You can register a business name as
well.
What
was your... I was trying to think of it. Was it Eternal Fitness?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the E, the black E in the logo.
So, not very well thought out. So heavily influenced by a mentor. I don't even know if I'd call him that. An influencer. Heavily influenced by an influencer. Who would have thought?
Before influencers. But yeah, I think it's an interesting topic to touch on because I think people spend way too much fucking time on the name of their business.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be as good as you think it does. Like, I don't necessarily think STCfit is the best name we could have had. But hey, lots of people know who it is. The people that have heard of it know what it stands for, know what it represents.
Oh yeah,
it's like
name's a name.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
and I would actually, one thing that I would say, and it's not a disrespectful comment to anyone who has it, because it's more and more popular. Don't name your business the thing that you do. and I can't use an example because I'll name someone that does it, but it's like, no, not even TAM. Like TAM Fitness is fine if you never want to put someone on ever in your whole life, and you know that you don't want to expand your brand that way. But I'm more meaning like I'm this qualification and a coach, or I live in this place and I'm a coach. Like, don't do that. I don't think that's long term. Like we had someone come through.
Werribee strength coach.
Yeah, or like
means you
actually
never move.
I can use Jordan because he hates it, but like the muscle doc, he doesn't like that. But it's not even a great one. I can't name anything without.
Yeah, fair enough. This is a really bad segment.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Let's call it the kettlebell physio because I don't know anyone named that.
Yeah, pretty sure I do. But anyway,
fuck.
Ben said it.
Yeah. I would suggest not doing that because it's like if you change direction with what you want to do,
the way you train
it all gets
people,
a little bit weird. Yeah. Or again, if you want to expand your team later on, like it all just gets a bit washy. Like have something that it's you. I think it was it's Adam is his name, right? Was Bondi strength coach and now he's Gold Coast strength coach or something like that because he moved.
Okay. Yeah, well, there you go.
He had a fucking massive following. And it's like, you've got to move. I know I've spoken to Will Crozier a bit. His Instagram handle's just like w.croz.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I had known I was going to have an account with 10,000, like plus, I think he's at like 15,000 followers or something. Yeah. He's like, I wouldn't have had that. But now, every podcast I've done, every post I've done,
it's just
all has that. So it's like, that's my handle now. I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just think about something that you can, because no one even knows what STCfit means. Yeah, and we're not going to talk about it on the podcast today. You have to. Yeah, that's for behind closed door chats only.
Yeah,
it's a well-kept
really
secret.
depth conversation that one.
But yeah, like just have something that's identifiable for yourself that you can create a meaning to, like Apple, like Microsoft, like Windows, like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't describe what it is. It's just the name, and then by branding, you build an attachment to it.
Yep.
I just mentioned that because people get too caught up in the names. They think it's too important.
Yeah.
That it has to be like someone's going to sign up just because of the name of your brand.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Nah. It's like signing up because you got a degree. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually think Laura nailed it with, I'm just looking at your jumper, with the Fox Physio.
Yep.
Even though she has like osteos and stuff
really
under,
dirty jumper.
But it's like the last name, but it passes because it's like we work with Ali. Ali can work under Fox because it's just like, oh, it's Fox Physio. You don't actually think that's her last name.
Yeah.
So that works well. So consider stuff like that. Accountant. When did you first see an accountant about your business?
I didn't even do my taxes for like fucking 4 or 5 years. like I'm pretty sure the ATO didn't know I existed as a personal trainer.
Yeah, I reckon it was probably my 3rd year, and I just went to like a H&R block and was like, I have to do tax because I want to get a car or something. And then he just claimed everything and was like, you can't.
I think I just like it was in passing with a conversation with someone about tax, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck. And then I went to see someone, and then like a proper accountant. I mean, whatever that is. And then they were just like, oh fuck. Like, there's a lot. Do you have any receipts? And it's like, oh,
no.
Bank statements?
Yeah, so see an accountant. Like, this isn't going to be the podcast that we give you financial advice, but a good accountant should.
Yeah.
You don't have to get, like, accounting software and bookkeeping software and all that shit yet. You probably don't need it. You can probably run off a spreadsheet.
Yeah, just get a separate bank account. Like, it's all I could probably...
Yeah, separate you... Well, then that's the next one is... so see the accountant, get all of that set up, what you need, what type of business are you going to be? Is it a business? Is it a sole trader? Is it a trust? Is it like, get all that shit out of the way starting out so you're actually coming from a place of legitimacy straight up. Yeah. And then you mentioned the bank account. So the next step for me is like, set up a fucking budget because you and I have both been 20 as personal trainers making $1,500, $2,500 a week. With no budget. You ended up with a heap of cash under your mattress. I ended up really drunk most weekends and still broke. And it wasn't until I was sort of 25 and older that I was like, oh, actually, like all this money that I'm making, I have none of it.
Yeah.
Or 6 clients walk out the door, or your gym closes, or
you need to buy a car, or
Yeah.
you need to get a loan for a house.
yeah, or even a rental. Like, you've got to show
credit rating or
income, like,
anything.
or like, like your bond or first month rent up front. Like, you need money.
Yeah, or you just need to know what you need to do to, make your business work as well.
Yeah.
Like if you need, I don't know, we'll just use $750 a week as an amount. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I need to get, like 20 sessions or whatever to make that happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, to get 20 sessions, I need to see this many people, which is what, probably divide that by 1.5.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right, I need to speak to this many people. So you can just run the math to like legitimately just break down your week and your day to go, right, this is what I need to do to get my budget in check. And then everything else on top of that is surplus.
Yeah. Yeah. So we use a model that's adapted from Scott Pape, Barefoot Investor, with his napkin bucket model thing, which just like allows you to takes all the stress away from managing your finances. When you're running a business, finances can be the number one stressor. So bringing all of that down means that you don't come into sales desperate. You don't you make desperate decisions like, I'm going to spend 6 hours this week making posters and putting them in the toilets that no one reads and doesn't work. Because you're not in a desperate position to chase.
Yep.
So I think that's really important.
It lays good habits too. Like I think once you understand the skills of budgeting, it's like if you can do it on a small scale, like you'll still do it on a larger scale, and then you'll be that person that has the stuff that you want, and people will look at you with a little bit of surprise, maybe envy, and be like, oh, I don't understand how you can have that stuff. When most people, they're just really bad with their finances. Like most people can access the shit that they wanted. If they knew how to budget accordingly, but we don't really get taught that much. Apparently they're trying to do it in school now from what my wife is telling me, but I learned nothing about.
Well, I think Pape actually had a big influence on that.
Yeah, well, I learned nothing about organization of my finances. It was just like we had a money box. I knew that money went in there and you only spent it on stuff that was like, out of the ordinary that you really wanted, and mum and dad had to kind of sign off on it. So, it's like that's as far as budgeting went for me. Yeah,
which was all apparently just a scheme to like...
to make you buy a bank account with Commonwealth Bank.
You get a credit card offer when you turn 18.
Yeah.
Wild.
Dogs.
So if you've got that in place, you're probably behaving in terms of your business entity in a more professional way than fucking 95% of personal trainers.
99.
No matter how long they've been in the industry. And if you've been in the industry, I was meant to say this at the start, like this is based on what you should do in your first year, but there's a lot of 5 years, like 5th years that could probably learn this stuff as well.
Yeah, just that legitimacy.
Yeah. So we've got a gym, we've got our finances set up, we've got everything kind of in place.
Hey guys, hope you are enjoying this week's episode. If you are, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to head to the website where we have all our free resources, gifts, products, services, and merch for you guys to enjoy. All right, let's head back to the episode.
Now we need to actually put together, like, what are you going to offer people in the gym?
Yeah.
Because you can't start making sales until you have a product to sell or a service to sell. So starting to identify, like, okay, what am I actually going to do with the people that I'm going to train? Am I going to write them a program? We fucking hope so. Am I going to give general nutrition advice? Because unless you're qualified, like, am I going to offer that as part of my service? Do I have allied health friends that I know that I can connect with? Am I going to provide a back-end community? So like a Facebook group or something like that I can add to my service. Am I going to add like a free group session per week for exposure and starting to work with people? How am I delivering my program? Am I doing a weekly check-in? What's in the weekly check-in? Starting to actually sit down and go like, okay, what are the people that are coming into my gym going to need? And does my service actually offer that? So the first part of that's obviously sitting down and have a really good think about who actually comes to your gym. Because I think the catch that a lot of PTs get in is like, I'll write a service for me.
Yeah.
And I became a personal trainer because I really, really like training. And this is a cool place for me to hang out and just talk about training.
Yeah, and that's the first place that you can lay the trap of getting in the mindset of trading time for money, and then, having a capped potential in the future and finding it really hard to navigate out of.
Yeah.
So if you start well by just like honing in on the service, you kind of get to that situation where you're kind of selling a membership.
Yeah.
And then that gives you a little bit more flexibility. And then, it doesn't kind of shackle you to be inside your business all the time and have your business be so reliant for you being in it. So you can't get sick, you can't take time off, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so a little anecdote on that. I had a call with someone this week of I think she'd been in maybe 2-3 months.
Yeah.
45-minute session, $75 for the session. I was like, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is move your sessions to 30 minutes. She was like, I can't train people in 30 minutes. That's not long enough. That's not going to work. I was like, okay, let's think about your overall service. One, the biggest issue that you're coming to us to talk about is that you're not confident in selling. You're not able to increase your prices to what you think it's worth at 45 minutes, and you're not confident selling at the price point you're at already. So there's one. So if we can reduce the time, we can sell at a higher dollar per minute. So we can go from $75 for 45 minutes to $60 for 30 minutes. The client still sees the session, and it's 60 instead of 75. You coming in nervous, not fully believing in what you do, all of that stuff, yet have a lower price point to sell. So that's a little sales tip there. So my dollar per minute just went up.
Yeah.
Then it's like, but what about for the client? Well, on average, a health club client will do 1.5 sessions per week with a trainer. So some are going to do 1, some are going to do 2. A few are going to do 3 here and there. That's what your book's going to look like. So how likely are you to get results with someone who can't train by themselves if they're only going to see you 1.5 times per week?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking unlikely. You're going to have to get them to come to the gym, #motivation, 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And half of those are going to be without you. So if you can go, okay, well, my 45-minute session, I now get their 10-minute warm-up done before I get here. Now I do the core part of their session with them. And if there's anything remaining, I've taught them and believe in them to go and execute it themselves. Oh, but I don't have time to show them. I don't have they don't know what to do. They're not confident, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, so what do you need to add to your service to make them feel comfortable to go and do that? Do you need an exercise library of warm-ups? Do you need an exercise library of fun, basic exercises that you can give them? So now when they go to the gym by themselves, they can do it. And when they first start doing that, you're just over there with another client. And they can see you and you can keep an eye on them, and it's like, hey, with the leg extension, just change this or whatever. That was fucking RIR 10. Put the weight up, you pussy. Whatever it is you need to do, right? Yeah. Now all of a sudden it's making more per minute. You're getting way more buy-in from the client. You're building empowerment for the client so they can actually show up outside of your sessions. So you're going to get better results for them. When you sit down and you want to sell to someone 1 session, 2 sessions, or 3 sessions a week, do you want to sell at $150 for 2 sessions or $110 for 2 sessions? Which is the client more likely to buy? Probably going to more likely buy the first one.
Yeah, at the start, definitely.
Yeah, so then it's okay, so now you get 2 opportunities to see them instead of 1. So again, your likelihood of results goes up. Then it's okay, well, what if I did fortnightly? I can charge $40-$45 for a fortnightly session because there's all this back-end stuff that they do. They don't have to half my price because they get a program, an exercise library, support, a check-in, or whatever. Now it's okay, so I have a price point as low as $40-$45. Everyone's fucking got $45.
Yeah.
So when I sit down with someone face-to-face in a consult, I know you can afford what I'm offering.
Yeah. Most people can't sell because they don't have a product to sell.
Well, yeah.
And they don't believe in it because they're just trading money and because they're trying to put their own value of themselves to that money and time.
Yeah.
Being young and obviously, not confident to a full degree because you're not really selling an outcome, you're selling yourself. Yeah. So it's that's why the confidence isn't there. Where if it's this is what you get, this is the service you're getting.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
The outcomes you get.
Yeah, well, you're getting a program, these are the outcomes you're selling, and then this is what's involved to get the outcome. It's 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 just a different way of framing, and it's more specific to the people that you're working with as well. So, you know, rather than selling yourself, you do what every other business does and goes, if this is what you're here for, this is what you need to get it.
Yeah. And then I think we did the math on like making $2,000 a week with those price points, like 45 at 75 or 30 minutes for 60. And it worked out like 5 hours less face-to-face time.
Yeah.
So it's like, it works for everyone. It's better for the clients, better for you. There will be a time down the track that maybe you've got more advanced athletes who need a 45-minute session. That's a discussion for later. I'd probably still argue that point most of the time. You're probably better off doing 2 sessions than longer ones, but I know you went to 45s like later in your career.
Yeah, but you have the confidence, you attract a certain type of person where it's just like their commitment and the value that they're seeking aligns with the value you're providing.
Yeah, and
so
you're still able to charge $2 a minute.
Yeah, it's not a matter of like you're not really talking about those details because those people see, like I said, they're seeking a higher valued service because their goals match it.
Yeah.
So where like a lot of Gem Pop clients, they don't really need a 45-minute or an hour session generally. It's like they probably need to be in the gym for 45 minutes to an hour, but it's like we can facilitate the fluff of getting them ready and just doing a little bit at the end, and then we facilitate the main part.
Yeah.
So it's much easier when you get boots on the ground and get some experience and skin in the game.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, cool. Like this is the price and this is how it works.
Yeah. All right. So we know we've got a good product. We know how much we're going to charge. We know that what we're doing is like focused on getting the client the outcome, not about trying to show anyone how much we know or anything like that. It's like what's going to get the person in front of me the result. That line of thinking alone will change the whole outcome of your personal training career.
Yeah.
The sooner you can tap into what's the person in front of me need versus how can I show how smart I am?
Yeah.
It will make a huge difference in how you behave within your business. We've got all that. Now we need to start finding some clients.
Yep.
Now, I was the phone guy majority of the time.
Did you on the phone?
Yeah. Did you smash phones when you started? I know you were taking care of amazing sales reps like me.
So, I never, ever used a call list.
Okay, so don't listen to Jason.
Never.
So you built your business basically off Kickstarts and then from the gym floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just really good at that process though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just really good. And like, I was at the gym for a while, so
yeah.
It's still valuable lessons. Like I still had to work hard.
Yeah.
It was just different, you know, just did it a different way.
Yeah. So I think the consideration for those of you listening, the fastest way, undoubtedly the fastest way, unless you've been on reception for 18 months like Jace, and you have 3 MCs in your pocket that you train that are all giving you the good leads, phone calls are the fastest way to get ahead in your personal training business.
Yeah, agreed.
So the main people are going to be, they haven't been to the gym in the last 2 or 4 weeks. They've got a birthday in the next month. They had a birthday, whatever. They do go to the gym, but it's only once a week, that kind of thing. They're going to the gym at the time slot that you want to fill gaps with. They're probably the 4 that I would start with in terms of like, you need to go to your PT manager and go, I need a list of names and phone numbers that do this.
Yeah.
You get on the phone and you can go back to other episodes of our podcast and learn the script and all that kind of stuff that we use to get someone in to meet you.
Yeah, you just need to have as many conversations as possible about people's goals.
Yeah. And we've seen we can reverse engineer those dials to answers to appointments to show-ups on the first one to the second one, show-ups to the second one, which is the sales presentation to close, and then average sessions per client. So you can work backwards from that, and the biggest thing that personal trainers like need when they start is like, I don't know what the fuck to do today.
Yeah.
It's like, here's what to do today. Dial 15 numbers.
Yeah.
And if you shit on the phone and you'd only book half of them answer and you only book 25% of them, work on getting better at the phone.
Mm.
If you're good on the phone and then when you get to the first appointment, they don't come back, okay, work on the first appointment.
Yeah.
Like you can track that all the way down with a really deliberate structure. But we've had, I think, half a dozen PTs who literally only got clients off the phone go to over 40 sessions in 12 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I've never seen anyone make the calls and not be paying rent and not be on 20 to 30 sessions at the end of the 12 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I've never met anyone that hasn't been that person like living in the gym for that, initial period.
Yeah.
Smashing phones, chatting to everybody, just being there all the time, having as much conversations as possible. I haven't seen that person, not make it.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've worked with 50 odd trainers.
Yeah.
More?
Yeah.
Well, 100 with education as well.
Yeah. It's definitely, that's the method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, get yourself the phone list. Understand that probably the first 3 months of your job is sales.
Yeah.
And be comfortable with that. Like that's what it's going to be. Because you're going to have an ascending rent period. So if you don't know, basically you're going to have 3 weeks usually of no rent. Then you're going to pay a third. After another 3 weeks, you're going to pay 2/3. And after another 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you're going to pay full amount. So over 12 weeks, you go from zero to what now I think is about $320 a week in a big health club. I had a PT manager tell me that the other day.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It's just slowly creeping up. So you're going to have that commitment. You're going to have to pay your bills at home and your rent inside that period. And that is why the reason we have a 6-month exit, such a high rate of exits at 6 months is because when you get to 3, rent comes in and you've got to give 3 months notice to leave.
Yeah. It's just literally the minimum term.
Yeah.
When you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like people come in, they don't do the work in that first 12 weeks, and then they're out because they, again, don't have a budget, don't have a plan, don't have a service, and didn't put in the work on the phone.
Yeah. Well, to your fairness, guys, you didn't know what to do.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is it. Like we've cracked the code because we've been doing it.
Yeah, so you didn't know what to do, and you were just winging it, and winging it didn't work out.
Yeah. Some people know what to do.
Some know what to do, and the others endure.
Yeah,
like it's just you endure and just suffer.
Yeah, figure it out
until there's a point where you have to bail out.
Yeah. So moving on from the phone call, obviously getting good at consultations. I think one of the biggest mistakes new trainers make is like, trying to show how smart you are in that consultation,
or just not giving the consultation the respect it deserves, and just rushing it to get them in the gym because. Again, it's like not having a system and not having confidence in guiding these people through a process that you need to help facilitate their goals. You think, if I just get them in the gym, that's going to please them because I'll see value in it. If I make them tired, they're going to buy off me. And it's like, that's not going to work. If the person does, they're probably going to buy off anybody, not necessarily you. They could have sat in front of anyone and would have been committed to buy. So you need to use that consultation and that step-by-step process from when you meet them to when you present to them as a way of like showing them this is how we get the goals that you want. This is how we get in your head and facilitate the reason you signed up to the gym. Yeah. So everyone's got a reason why they signed up to the gym, right?
Yeah, and then the next step for that too is like, why you fucking sat down with a PT? Because it's like, you're not coming if you don't have a problem.
Yeah, it's like, why are you here?
Yeah. I had this chat with a coach yesterday, like, they're getting some pushback, particularly from male prospects. Just like, no, I think what I do is pretty good. It's like, well, why haven't you been coming? And why are you here? Why did you agree on the phone to come in and sit down with me and then actually show up? Yeah. Because like, there's something there. There's a reason. There's something missing. So as a PT, it's your job to find that. Yeah. So 2 pieces of core advice. Everyone asks the goal, but they don't ask the goal. Yeah. It's like, oh, tell me your goals, Jason. It's like, oh, I just want to get jacked. It's like, that's not yet. We're not there yet. Yeah. Maybe for Jason, because Jason actually really fucking cares about getting jacked. But most people, Gen Pop people, will just be like, oh, I just want to, be a little bit fitter. Yeah. It's like, well, a little bit fitter isn't going to get you showing up 4 times a week, and it's definitely not going to have them paying you. Yeah. Because it's not big enough. They don't value that enough. So it's like, okay, why do you want to get fitter? What does fitter mean? Oh, fitter actually means losing 3 dress sizes. Or fitter actually means running a half marathon or playing basketball with my kids or whatever it is. Honing down on that goal what it actually means to them and what the real reason behind it is.
Yep.
Not just taking the token like, I want to lose 10 kilos. Because even that, like, what does losing 10 kilos look like? Is it actually the scale, or is it an outcome somewhere else that it's like the fun run thing? No one wants to set a goal and run a fun run.
It's not fun.
What they want to do is be a particular person at the end of that because they've ran a fun run.
Yeah.
Which usually means that they're lighter.
Yeah.
That's usually the goal.
And broken.
Yeah. Yeah, they're lighter and then they put on weight because
they can't train.
They've got stress fractures or some shit. So that's step one. And then step two, and this is something that we probably missed early in our careers as well. We just were like so charismatic that we got away with it. Would be identifying the main problems that they have, the main obstacles.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't the charisma. It was just the fact that we had a good service that solved the problem so they could see it.
Yeah.
But I think a key to being really good at sales is actually asking and identifying, like, what are the three main things getting in the way of that right now?
Yeah.
And if you can predict them and build your service around them and tie them back to someone, it's like, fuck, you're miles ahead of anyone else.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like, when you go from trying to convince someone to solving their problems, it's like it's just a night and day switch.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of mentality, conviction, confidence, you know, those kind of things. It's like, we talk about it all the time. Like, that's exactly what I want to see when I'm sitting down with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want them to be convincing me. I want them to show me that it's like, I'm the person.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, if those problems, everyone's got different problems. So that's when it becomes about me.
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny. I've got a consultation for a service this afternoon where I'm the client. Yeah. So I went on a website, like, had a look around. It's like, it's no shit. It's our model. Like, this person has used our model even down to, like, they've actually finished their book. But everything's there. So I was like, worked all the way through, and I was like, fuck, I know exactly what's happening here. And I was actually talking to my wife about it. She's like, do you think, like, the sales thing just doesn't work because we know?
100%.
And I was like, no. When it's done well, I know and still buy.
You know what? It's so right.
It actually makes me buy more.
Agreed. Yeah. When it's done wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like, because
so
we had a consult again like 4 weeks ago, and I actually had to message the owner of the business and be like, this is the worst fucking sales call I've ever had.
But you were just being, your ego was
whatever.
Sure, bro.
Yeah. So, watching this guy, like, it was like, this is your problem. This is your problem. This is your problem. You're this age. You're thinking like this. You're thinking like this. And I was just like, yep. Yeah.
There's me.
Sign me up. Yep. What hoop do I need to jump through to work with you?
Yeah.
It was where we got to the position of. And that's what you want with your clients when you sit down with them.
Yeah, agree. Yeah.
So then after that, my recommendation with your consults, just add some value. So we're not going to unpack the consult. There is an episode. Tam, maybe just put it in the notes.
Got free resource on the website too, guys.
Oh, we do. Consults are closed.
Yeah. Free resource. Like, get in there. Get it done. It's
STCfitlearning.com.
Yep.
Resources. Consults are closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew we had something on it.
Yeah. It's
actually really fucking good.
It's
our entire model for free.
Just going to take that off. Cut that out, Tam.
So we've done the consult. Next is like a wow session. The only tip that I would give there is, like, stop making them up every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, have 3 or 4 based around the particular problems that you need to solve and the people that you're going to work with. So we have, like, fat loss, physique, strength, and then a performance one. Because that's typically the people that we're going to work with in the gym.
Yeah.
So put a program together that works in your gym, that's, like, favorable. Like, don't write a workout that's, like, leg press, leg extension, hamstring curl, and then try and do that at fucking 6:30 and impress someone.
Yeah.
This shit, equipment's fucking gone. Write a program that you can do that's, like, not machine reliant and that you can make work in a busy gym and execute that. And then the sell, it's funny, like, the selling's like, everyone's like, oh, we've got to lower our voices and talk about the sell. Because everyone's really nervous.
Or they want to know what the secret is.
Yeah.
Like, what's the fucking secret, Ben?
What the secret is asking for the sell a minimum of 25 times before you ask for money. So we call them test closes, and it's getting someone to agree to coaching with you without them knowing.
Yeah.
Or even if they do know. Like, so Jace, like, how many times a week do you think you'd train?
Every day.
Every day. All right. And how many have you thought about doing that with a PT?
Probably 1 to 2.
Boom. Jace has already solved.
Yep.
So, Jace, this is like phase 1 of a program that I typically introduce. The next phase, we'll increase the volume, increase movement complexity. Is that exciting?
Damn straight it is.
Yeah. Would you like to be able to back squat instead of using these shitty red kettlebells?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Now that's 2, like straight away. So
yeah.
Starting to pose like, do you want to do this, Jace? Do you want to track all your food, everything that goes in your face on an app on your phone? Or would you rather just have a portion size guide? Pick one. By picking one, you agree to personal training because that's what I'm going to provide to you. So some people will term it as like assume that the person you're speaking to has already agreed to personal training. It's one kind of language you use it. We talk about test closes in that's deliberate structured questions to get them to say like, yes, I want that.
Can you see yourself doing this? Can you see how this would work in relation to your goals?
Yeah.
It's just, there's so many.
Yeah.
So many.
And then because we're coming from a place of what's your obstacle, what's getting in the way, here's how I'm going to sell them. It's prescriptive, not selling. It's I'm prescribing you 2 sessions a week or 1 session a week or 2 or 3 sessions a week. Which one would you prefer? I want you to pick one of the options. Bang. Off
and it just moves away from the fucking cheesy scripted shit that like if someone says one word that's fucking out of alignment, you're just like a deer in headlights, like fucking I don't know what to say.
Help.
Yeah, it's like a fish out of water, like stunned mullet or something. You know, it's like it's just takes that all away, and it's just like the experience on the other end is just so much better.
Yeah,
you know, as soon as someone gets a hint of nervousness, it's like they're out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so then we come to like the next thing is like, oh, but I got this objection. So people always ask about objection handling, and I make you do that unit in our courses because it pisses me off. Because it's like
it's the fucking shortest module ever. Because it's like
if you got an objection, you fucked it up in the console.
Yeah.
Like then there's some that like you can overcome just by like really just by giving a fuck about the person that's in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, what's the best way to handle the objection of I need to think about it? Well, it's like, well, every single person that's ever said I need to think about it, leave,
come back.
and we don't fucking see him again.
Yeah.
Not just like don't see him for personal training. They don't come to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
So what do you need today to allow this to happen?
Yeah.
And that comes from a real place of these are your problems. I know I can solve them, and I know that it's going to make your life much better if you do. It's like, how much fucking easier is that?
Yeah, I think people would care less about objection handling if they were just better at the whole system. If they had the system and abide by it, because they would sign more people up.
Yeah.
And when they got to a situation where they got an objection, they would either try and help them.
Yeah.
And have the confidence to be like, hey, you know, let's just try and make this work somehow.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that you just let them go.
Yeah.
And just like keep that open, that line of communication open later, like touch base in a month.
Yeah.
But because people don't have a system, they get too many objections because everyone just wants to say whatever the fuck they want to say to leave.
Yeah, I need to think about it.
It's like, oh, this is awkward. You've asked me for money and I don't see the value in it, but I don't want to tell you no because I want to hurt your feelings. So I'm just going to make up some shit.
Yeah, I'm going to think about it.
Yeah. That's it. So I think you'll care less about objections when you get better and adopt a system that's actually, you know, tried and tested.
Yeah, and there are some, there's little language things like, oh, let's like sign up, start your start date in 7 days if you need to talk to your partner and just message me if it's no good. Like I'm sure your partner knows you're here, knows what's happening, right? Oh, yeah, okay. Like there's lots of little things to increase the chances of those conversions.
Yeah, and you'll get less of them though.
But the goal is to not have them. So like the partner one, when someone's leaving after their initial consult, hey, Jace, we're just going to have a chat about ongoing PT. Like I said at the start of the session, we're going to have a chat about ongoing PT next session. So just to give you a rough guide, about $50, $60 per session, depending on how many you're doing. So if you need to chat to your wife or whatever, do a budget for that. Just do that before next time I see you. But I'll unpack it all for you then. And then get the fuck out of there. Don't even give them time to respond.
Yeah.
It's like now there's no talk to your partner. There's no think about the cost. There's no do a budget. It's like covered it. Done.
Yeah.
So that's the benefits of a really good consult. So we've got someone to a point where they're working with us. What are the main things that you would say first year PTs get wrong from that point onwards?
They don't have any form of structured programming. So there's no, this is what we're going to do for this bit. This is what we're going to do for this bit. This is what we're going to do for this bit. It's not measured.
Yeah.
It's kind of just made up.
Yeah.
And then there's no like results tracking.
Yep.
There's no decision making on the, there's no coaching development.
Yeah.
It's all just.
There's a service element, which is putting together like you said, the program, the data tracking, all that kind of stuff. Definitely. And then, I think a huge one's coaching.
Yeah. It's just like become friends and hope that they stay.
Yeah.
And just talk about the weekend and shit.
Yeah.
And not really address any issues that are getting in the way of obtaining the goals. Which is what good coaching should facilitate. It's like, asking good questions that prompt thought and actually overcome these problems that people are having.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that lends itself to what we're talking about at the start, where it's not getting smarter and knowing more is really important. Being good at your job is really 100%. Important. But knowing the volume prescription for a 23-year-old with this lifestyle doesn't matter if the 23-year-old's not going to the fucking gym.
Yeah.
So how you communicate with them, how you, but again, that word, like I would say, inspire or hold accountability or provide accountability, motivate, whatever word you want to use, how you set that structure up to facilitate an environment where they execute the plan. That's what's going to make or break your results.
Yeah, it's stacking the right habits.
Yeah, because I had shit programs the first 2 to 3 years of my PT career, and I added it up when I moved gyms. I had a 95% positive outcome rate of my monthly measurements.
Yeah,
with shit programs.
Yeah, because people showed up. Yeah,
because they came to the gym and they worked hard and they ate better than what they did when they started. Like now maybe it's 98%, but it's like the outcome came from getting them in the door, not how good my program was.
Yeah. So if you can have both,
100%.
Even better.
Yeah, definitely. So where would you start in terms of like communication? Like what do you think that people get wrong? Not necessarily like actual stuff, just the thought process.
Yeah, so they coming into every conversation as a fixer.
Yeah,
so it's like coming into every conversation with the goal of like, again, trying to provide that value. It's like when you're a coach, you have to ask the right questions to get the right conversation happening. Yeah. Which is realistically, most people kind of know what's in the way of themselves. They just need an environment where they feel safe, they can explore their mind, and they can kind of throw some ideas out, feel a bit validated by somebody else who they respect, which is a coach that they've hired to help facilitate an outcome. And then you guys can kind of hash out like a good plan of action together and have some form of like, verbal, not an official sign off, but they just want, someone to honor that what they're doing is going to be the right thing. And then you kind of move on, rather than like giving people advice that is in some way unsolicited. That's not going to be received because they didn't want it in the first place. Or they just expect you to say it and they just know you're a personal trainer, you're perfect, whatever, you don't understand me kind of thing. And it doesn't really kind of get to some form of like specific intervention for that person. It's the whole like, you didn't track your macros, so just track your macros this week. It's like,
do it again, but less shit.
Well, you didn't do it last week, so it's like, and you didn't do it the week before, so it's like next week's probably not going to work out as well. So you need to find a way to dig deeper on that.
Yeah, and that's a great example. And it's like, well, we go into like, well, you need to build a meal plan. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. Versus like, Jace, how do you think you could eat more protein next week?
Yeah.
And Jason goes, oh, well, I could probably add a scoop of oats, protein powder to my oats in the morning.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Or it's like, or you could say, if you need help with ways to improve your protein, I have a few of them. Yeah. I can share them with you if you'd like.
If you say, I don't know, I need help. Like if that's your response, like how do you improve your protein next week? It's like, I don't know. Like maybe I'll have some Nutri-Grain. It's like, all right, can I offer some solutions?
Yeah. If you get asked for help or they accept your
ask for permission.
Input, then it's like, cool. So here's some of them. Which one do you really hit home with you?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. So how are we going to make that work? When's it going to happen? Yep. What's the likelihood of this going, of us completing this week? Cool. Sign off on it. Can't wait to hear about it next time we catch up. Yep. Hey, how'd you go with the protein stuff?
100%.
It's like, So then it's just you're just working on something, and it's always progression. And it's like momentum is such a good thing, and it's like working on one thing consistently and overcoming it. It just keeps that momentum ball just rolling. And it's like, and that mentality is what turns people into fucking high achievers.
Yeah, and long-term clients.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Awesome. Look, I think if you got here to that stage in your business and you're ticking all of those boxes, you will never be forced out of the industry.
Yeah.
Based on how much money you're making.
Yeah.
Then from there, inside your first year, because you probably get this right within 6 months, then it's like, okay, now get really fucking good. Like now let's learn how to, instead of look at a squat and go, I know it's not right, but I don't know what to do, start overcoming all of those things. Yeah. Like get really fucking good at the job. Go and learn the female cycle or the Krebs cycle or some other cycle, whatever, not that cycle. Whatever it is you want to go learn about, start pursuing those things once you've got these big blocks in, because they're the blocks that are going to fill your books and are going to keep you in the gym. Yeah. That was valuable. I wish I had this podcast
completed
episode
it
when I was
personal training in the gym. Completed it, mate.
All right, so announcement time. Are you ready?
I'm strapping in.
Do we have a drum roll thing on the...
Tam doesn't know what it is.
Tam doesn't know what sounds they'll make.
Yeah, I'm just going to put my imaginary buckles on.
So returning to the STCfit Learning service lineup is the STCfit Learning Mentorship. Crowd goes wild. So essentially what the mentorship is a 12-month dedicated time that we work together with. You don't have to be like brand new first day starting out, but sort of finding your feet in the fitness industry. Yeah. Getting into an IBO position, working at probably a health club, and we're going to take care of basically all of this for you. Because we've been doing this for ourselves for 10 years. We've been educating for 6. We spent 4 or 5 years running a variation of this model pre-COVID. Yep. We've since taken it to a whole new level, way more refined, way more do this, then this, then this, then this, and it's literally just plug and play. You get to have STC Fit in your branding, leverage all of our content, leverage all of our brand awareness, the websites, the spreadsheets, the programming templates, the budgeting templates, the management of your business. Everything is done for you. We do your admin for you, so client cancellations, suspensions, client agreements, contracts, all of that done for you as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this back up because we haven't really ran it since like 2019.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's very complete. It's very polished now.
Yeah. So yeah, we're really excited to get this moving again. So if you are kind of either in and floundering a little bit, or you're looking at like, oh, how do I make the best entry into the industry in my first 12 months? Yeah. This is it. This is going to go from like that first 12 months is going to take you from a first-year coach to a fifth-year coach, like that. You'll be worlds ahead of everyone in the industry.
Yeah, it just gives you the opportunity to decide whether you want to be, how long you want to be in fitness for. Yeah. Rather than, circumstances that weren't exactly in your control because you didn't know, but kind of could have been in your control, but you left the industry because, you got kind of forced out. Yeah. It's like, this will give you the ability to decide. Yeah. It's like, yep, I want to fucking make it, and then do 12 months and you will make it.
Yeah. And then after that 12 months, the world's yours. It's like, you want to 100%. Specialize in a particular client, you can do it. You want to go online, you can do it. You want to move into education, maybe you might be able to do it. Not yet.
12 months.
Yeah. I just got excited. But you can start to
educate
decide,
your clients.
Yeah. Well, definitely. You can start running seminars. You can start doing all of that kind of stuff and helping people out. So, if you have any questions, want to know more about that, just head to our website. We'll just have a inquire now pre-application because we're going to be kicking off in about 4 weeks. That we'll really start taking applications. So get in quick because it's going to be capped.
Yeah, limited spots for sure.
We'll only be taking
quality. Yeah,
we'll only be taking 4 at a time to make sure that we're actually
quality
on top
control.
Of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So get in now, pre-register a spot, and all the details will be coming in the future. You'll see it all over the website and the socials and stuff. And go, if you don't believe us, go and check out the website. Like Jay said, those free resources.
Get the free resources and go through the consults to close. Take that through a couple of prospects. Tell me it's not better than what you're doing right now.
Yeah, and that's one out of, I think we're up to fucking 35 modules or some shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, we'll stop talking. Go to STCfitlearning.com at STCfit_learning on Instagram. Peace.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks for tuning into the episode. Don't forget to like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you loved it, and share it with somebody who you think needs to hear it. Don't forget also to head to the website for all our free resources, products, services, and merch. All right, see you next time.